Hi everyone, and thank you for joining us on today's episode of my fashion internship experience. With me today, I have Timitokwe Adebute, the founder of Joketa. She is someone I know, someone I've spent quality time with for a period of time. We were together in a program um, last year, and it was really great knowing her. And she shared so much with me that I think that many fashion enthusiasts need to listen to and learn from. So, Temitope Adebute, thank you for joining us. It's
You're
amazing to have you.
welcome.
I know that you like to stay behind the scene. You don't like all the unnecessary spotlight, but thank you for honoring this invitation and thank you for seeing the importance. And please do know that whatever you share today is going to be of great value.
You're welcome, Dami.
Okay.
Thank
All
you for
right.
having me. It's nice to be here.
Okay. Thank you. So, can you tell us a little bit about your fashion background? Or let me put it this way: why did you decide to go into fashion? Why fashion?
Well, I must confess, fashion was never my first choice of anything.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow. Okay.
just an artsy person. I liked fashion, but it was never in line of my thoughts that I was going to do anything fashion related. It was just something that I picked up, and you know, the my friend, I'm sure you know her too. So when we're in university, like after the skill, like you have this skill, it can't be wasting like this. And she just kind of got me like jobs. Then like I remember then during school days we're having this, all this university final year dinner. We call it the FYB dinner in OAU then. So she just came with two outfits and like, oh, okay, I got this clothes for you. You have to make them from two people with money. I was like, wow, how do I do this? Because it never crossed my thoughts that I should make money out of it. But it just kind
Wow.
of started my journey into fashion, and that was it.
That's great to hear. Okay,
Yeah.
so what you're saying is that you are a lover of the creative, right? You like to
Yeah.
create and make things, and then you sort of just stumbled into fashion, or
Yeah, well,
maybe people brought your attention to what you're capable of, something like
yes,
that.
I kind of like, I've always liked fashion, but not in the business sense of it. I liked looking at women's clothing, I like looking at people, I like when people look good. So it wasn't more about stumbling into it, but when it just happened that I found myself on that scene, I told myself, like, girl, if you're going to be here, you have to start, as in, you have to do it well.
Right.
So it just kind of set my focus on some particular set of people. Like, okay, these are the people in fashion that are really
Wow.
doing great things in
Wait,
fashion.
wait,
This
wait,
is
wait, wait,
why.
wait, wait. Let me cut you right there. So the first thing you did was you went out to look for the top people in fashion. Is that what
Yes,
what's I'm hearing from
yes,
you?
I did.
So you did your research. So you got the top people in
Yes,
fashion.
I did.
Wow.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, I did. So I was always following up on them. Like, okay, this person is showing at New York Fashion Week. This person, I would like to like have like learn something from this person, learn something from that person, and that was how I started the journey. That if I'm going to be doing this, I have to do it with people that have the right mindsets for it, people that know their onions, because I did not want to be just like a local tailor. I didn't want
Okay.
that. Yes,
Okay.
even when I started picking up the skill, like from here and there, it was mostly learning from. I never had like a basic fashion education, even till
Really?
now. Yes.
So what you say? Okay. Can you share with us your academic background? What did you study? What school did you
Okay.
go to?
Okay. I studied plant science from Obafemi Awolowo University. So I was into sciences. So there was not, even when I started the fashion journey, I remembered when, okay, after realizing that, okay, this is something I wanted to learn how to do, because I've always been fashionable, that let me learn how to sew. I remember then my 400 level in OAU. That was in 2007. So I had to go. There's this place we call the sports complex in OAU then. So I had to go and register with one of those local tailors. So it just happened that I had, out of 5 days a week, I had practice practical days, 3 times a week. And my practical time sometimes extends to 6 p.m. So like I'll rush like 1 hour break, go to the local
Wow.
tailor. Yes, go to the local tailor, go and see what they are doing. Even though I was basically not doing anything. I was just practically ironing clothes for them. But
Right.
it was a skill for
Apprenticeship.
me. Yes, it was a
Yeah.
skill for me because till today I iron better than most guys. Even my workers, when they are messing up my ironing, I take it from them and iron because it was a
Wow.
skill that I acquired even at that level. So from
And
there,
you didn't think of it as belittling, like below you
no,
at
I
the
never
time.
did. No, I never did. Even though, yes, I had reaction for students like, oh, sometimes my classmates will come and like, so what are you doing here? Oh,
Exactly.
yeah, some will comment, oh, you're doing no good. Oh, I admire you. And some will just like give me the face like, girl, what are you doing here? But yes, I was enjoying it. Like I picked up the skill. Okay, when the local tailor, I saw that it wasn't at the level that I wanted. I had a student too, Sapphire. Like she too, like she already had like an established fashion. This that I think she was one
As a
of the
student,
as a student, yes, she was one of the biggest
is
in
the
school.
business still existing now? Do you know?
Yes, Sapphire is still existing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she's
Fantastic.
in Ibadan. Yes.
Okay.
So, after like I said, okay, in Ife, Sapphire is one of the best. Let me go and learned from her a bit, but then off and on, my dad was ill, so it wasn't something that and because I wasn't. I was doing science related courses. She too as a student, so sometimes our schedule don't match. It's
Okay.
either I go there to just help her stitch up, pack up clothes, do the finishings, like I wasn't really seeing the process going on cutting and everything, but
There wasn't
it
so
never,
much to show for it.
yes, it never derailed me from what I wanted to learn. So all I did, I'll carry my tape, measure points, carry my tape, like, I was teaching myself. I was teaching myself gradually, and until I could, do a number of things myself. And it just happened that during that period, I had a friend too that I met through Sapphire. She was into patterns because her mom learned from this singer school then where white people taught patterns, and when they just introduced singer machines into Nigeria and
Yes.
sewing skills and everything. So our mom was taught patterns and she picked up patterns from her mom, and which she too is very good at. She just said, okay, I have a training session for school trainings that we do then, like you want to learn a skill, like, okay, why don't you help me with the training during the holidays, 2 weeks? And that was how I picked up patterning skills too, and that
So
was it.
this conversation is so interesting. So you worked with her for
For
about two
2 weeks.
weeks,
Yes.
okay, while
Yes.
she started her training school,
Yes.
and you picked up on pattern drafting skills
Yes.
here and there.
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
Yes. So that was it for me. And I just told myself, like, okay, girl, you don't have money for fashion school. Even though I wanted to go to fashion school so badly, but like, I don't have money for fashion school. Who are the top shots in
Right.
in Lagos, Nigeria?
Smart
I started,
thinking, right?
yes, I started looking. I started looking at their names, following them, not on the gram because Instagram was we did not have Instagram
I
those days,
understand. But always
but
checking on what they were doing at
checking
the
up
time.
on what they're up to, magazines and stuff like that. So, fortunately for me, where your heart is, God just leads you in that direction. I think that was what happened with me. So, when I was telling a friend, like, oh, I would actually like to intern with this particular person, and like, oh, okay, I don't know this person, but I know somebody that has worked with her, and she's my childhood friend. We were in class together. That, okay, I can get your contact. Do you mind working with her for this particular period, at least out of school? I said, why not? And that was how I started a brief stint with Ejiro Tafere then.
Oh,
I
you
did it.
please hold on. So you interned with Adriel Tafari, Amos
Yes, I
Tafari.
did.
How long?
That was about 6 months.
Oh, wow. What
Yes,
year was this?
that was 2010.
Wow. Okay.
Yes.
Interesting.
So and I always, okay, this is this is where I want to be. Like, okay, Ejiro works with somebody that you would like to be with. So it was an eye opener for me to starting with Ejiro, because this is me seeing fashion on another level. This is me
Right.
like moving from, when I starting on another level. So it was easy for me, like picked up things, did these lengths and all. So fortunately for me, I got who I wanted through working with Ejiro. So that was how I got an invite to Tiffany Amber for,
Wow.
yes, and which led
Internship.
me into that journey with
Okay.
Tiffany
So how
Amber
long did
Group.
you intern with Tiffany Amber?
I did like 3 years with her.
But will you call it internship? Did it transit from internship to
Yes,
like
it did
employment?
transit. Yes, it did transit from
So
internship
how
to
long was the
employment.
internship?
The internship was about a year. Yes,
So internship was for a year, then you worked for about 2 years.
yes, yes.
Wow. Okay. So we got to this point so quickly. But I was hoping that we would take the conversation, but for real, the way you shared your growth in the industry is so surreal because, well, the point of this interview is to show interns that there's a process to these things. Like,
Yes, there
not
is.
many people, not many people know this. I'm not sure if this is my sound. Okay, so not many people know this. However, the truth needs to be told. We need to tell this story. We need to share this experience for people to
Yeah,
know that there's a journey, there's a process to becoming a career person, and it's actually possible to actually build a successful career in fashion.
yeah.
So for me, what is your take on internship? Would you say that it's important for young people to intern? Would you let's start with that.
I must confess to you, like I think internship is underrated. It can never be overemphasized, because what I am now on my fashion journey was as a result of consistent learning from people. And in like when you're interning with people, you're acquiring knowledge. So even fashion schools abroad, anyway, I think ideal situation, even in the university, we had internship session that you had to. Hello, Dami. Okay, okay. As I was saying, I said even in universities, for people that are in full tech, me as an agriculturist, then because my faculty was faculty of agri, we had a 1 year compulsory internship, which we called our farm year. This is a period where you have to like practicalize everything you've learned in class to acquire a particular skill. So I've
Right.
had experience, yes, I've had experiences of working with people that studied abroad, home and abroad. But if you tell them to come and put things together, they are scared. Not because of anything, because they never had a one of like, yes, they have
Hands-on experience. They didn't have the
yes, they don't
hands-on
have the
experience.
experience, they don't have the this thing to take it on. So a lot of these things, if you consistently intern, it opens it to, like my brand aesthetics, everything. I just kind of like, okay, this is what I want to be. This is what I don't want to be. As you learn to particular phases
Clearly.
of your life, you begin to, as in, you get more clarity on where you want to be. I have never went to like a formal fashion school. I've never formally trained that, okay, this is me training as a fashion designer.
But you
But
have the
I have
hands-on knowledge
experience
and
and the
experience.
expertise that a lot of people that have gone to fashion
Okay.
school.
Okay. So let me cut you there. So what you're saying to me is that, are you okay? Let me put it as a question. Are you saying fashion school is overrated?
It is not overrated. I'm not saying fashion school is not overrated at all. Like you cannot you cannot take that out for every, it's a learning foundation. So what they teach you in the classroom, what they teach you outside the classroom, they are two different things. So you need both the classroom knowledge and the field knowledge. So the field knowledge is what internship actually gives you the ability, like it gives you that platform to acquire knowledge in that field. So both are actually very important. None is less important than the other. But it's just that unfortunately, not everybody is able to go to fashion school because of the, but you have
Right.
the ability. There are a lot of fashion designers abroad that they never went to fashion school. They picked up
True.
skills by just interning with one designer or the other, and they developed their skills. So school is not overrated, neither is
Okay, so
neither
my
is
next question will
internship
be that,
overrated, because this is a process that goes hand in hand. They both go hand in hand with one another. So you can learn from the classroom for 10 years and not be able to make use of your skills. Do you get what I'm saying? You can be in the classroom for
clearly,
10
I hear
years
you.
and not be able to make use of your skill because you never were on the platform where you practicalize everything you've been taught. So both parts of the journey is as important as the other. None should be neglected. If you have the opportunity to go to a fashion school, so be it. But make sure that when, like every fashion school now, even on holidays, they advise students to go on internship classes, like go, and so that if you know, okay, if you intern with a bridal designer this season, it's a skill you pick up. You know that. So you decide to intern with somebody that does just maybe ready to wear tomorrow. So by the time you
Right.
accumulate the skills, you are able to get clearance.
You have enough
Yes.
exposure.
Do I
So
what
my next question will be, would you advise that, people intern before they go to a fashion school or after?
it's a very tricky one. No, there's no rule to this thing. That means I don't think there's a rule. There's no yardstick for this thing. So it works for somebody this way and works for another person that way. So, but whatever journey whatever phase you're able to find yourself, whether you go to fashion school first, or even I believe that fashion school students should actually be the one to actually use this opportunity the most, because they have school placements that places them with fashion labels and brands that they can work with at a particular point in time. So they should even have it more easier than people that are not in school. So, but if you are not in school and you know that this is a field that you want to, this is a field that you want to get into, I advise you seek deeper knowledge, which you can get by interning with people. Yes, I know that most people don't pay their interns because you're also picking up skill from them. So, but sometimes it's a sacrifice one has to make. It's a choice if you want to learn. So if you look at the long run, that okay, this is what I'm getting from these people. Even while I was
The
overworked,
value you're getting from the
yes,
experience
even while I was
is
overworked,
going to be worth more than
I
money.
felt like I was my enemy was dying, and oh, I was doing too much within a space. I knew my end goal. Like, okay, this is the knowledge I'm acquiring. And I must confess till today, it's been a major, like it gave me the backbone. It gave me the backbone. It gave me the expertise. It gave me the courage to be able to stand on my own, because I picked up so much that even my boss would be like, "Come here, are you sure you do not go to fashion school? Like, you must be lying to me that you did not go to fashion school." So
Wow. That brings me to my next question. Your exit strategy. How was your exit strategy for having interned and worked in a place for 3 years? How did you leave? Like, on what ground? How did you exit that employment phase to starting your own business?
that was, I think, it just happened. It was an unintentional thing. It just happened. I was not in school. in a good place with my health as at that time. So it was either I settled as in stopped work or the other way around. And I knew for that time I had to stop work. So it just sort of
For health
happened.
reasons.
What did you say?
I said for health reasons.
Yes, for health reasons, which was why I left. So, but the thing is, I think, yes, I maybe I could have done it better than the way I moved on. Yes, it could be better than the way I moved on. But this thing, if you are going to intern, nowadays, I think it's just best to let whoever you're interning with that you have a hand. If that is your plan, that okay, I'm going to intern with you for 1 year. I think I actually feel because people are not truthful and they don't put in effort these days. So a lot of people are
And they
actually
don't stick to their words. They don't keep to
they,
their words.
they do not a lot of people that me do not want to learn. They just want to pick up something that you're doing and translate it. So that is not you intern. If you really want to learn, you will get to the grit of the job. You will get to the bottom of the job. Like you will have to do the dirty work. I think that's what people. It is internship is not something to be glamorized. You are there to work. You want to learn. So it's more like Yoruba is far-fetched from Omodo. I'm not saying you should be Omodo because yes, we live in a more advanced
A modern world, yes.
world
A
now,
more
but
enlightened world.
sometimes you have to really put yourself down to learn, which I believe a lot of people don't want to do these days. So, which sometimes cuts short their journey because nobody wants to invest their energy into getting. But what you invest in is what you get out of it. So, I would advise if anybody is going into internship with anybody, if you have a set day, okay, I'm going to work for 6 months or I'm going to work for 1 year. So even the person you're interning with is mentally prepared. Okay, this person is with me for a duration of this time. And if at that set time you're like, oh, I would like to take my exit now. But you put in, yes, in all good conscience, you can say, yes, I did learn and I was able to impact my environment in such a short period of time. So,
Right?
look for a more graceful exit. So that way, everybody is good with one another. So I think we
I
should.
have another question about relationship because there's this toxic nature of the fashion industry that seems to be like almost the norm, right? Would you say that you had such negative experiences during your internship experience, during the course of your internship that scarred you in a general note?
Well, the thing is, everybody will all have an experience that will scar us in life. So it's not dependent on how you want to move on from such an experience. Because if you're still mulling over the fact that my boss was bitchy to me and this thing, you don't know what your next boss is going to be like. So
Exactly.
I think
I
people
see.
should move on from being emotional about this thing. It's yes, I had experiences days I felt really awful at work, like oh my god, like I don't want to be here. And I had my up days. I had the days where I was 100% satisfied, like oh yes, I'm doing the right thing. I had days where I felt the lowest, like oh
So
nobody
you
should
had to
treat me
weigh.
like this. Yes,
So
so
you had to weigh.
but like I said, if you have a clear picture of what you want. This is a journey that it is just you. Your boss doesn't know about your journey because you are just there based on the fact that I want to do this. But she's not able to get into your head to see how your thought process is like. So I think it's dependent on the person willing to learn. Sometimes, yes, you can have some really like good bosses. Let me use the word good bosses that you know that by the time they finish with you, you're wondering what have you done to deserve this kind of boss. But the fact still remains that every learning curve, no matter how bitchy or how good this thing is, it is a learning process.
It's a
So
learning curve.
you take the good that you want from it and leave the rest. I don't think people should get emotional about, oh, because my boss was weak. Even outside of fashion, you have people that will give experiences that will scar you. But we need to learn to move on from that, because it will just derail you, because you're just stuck on something that you shouldn't empower. So I just feel
I get that clearly. So regardless of the experience, it
yes,
ought to empower you. It ought to push you forward. It
forward,
shouldn't
yes,
hold on to negative experiences, such that they just have a negative impact on you. Negative
yes.
experiences should still have a positive impact on
You
you.
can't have a smooth you can't have a smooth sail. There will always be
True.
negative experience. Even
Because
all of
you're
us,
dealing with human beings. We're dealing with
yes.
men and women of different backgrounds, upbringing, and all of that. Okay, that brings me to my next question, and that is, now that you are now fully set up as a brand, your catering brand, of which, dear audience, this brand has been won by the beautiful Chimamanda Adichie, and I love the outfit, and many other important persons in Nigeria. Now that you are fully set up, do you see yourself taking on interns? And do you think that you have the structure or you have what it takes to take on interns?
Of course, is one thing I would like to do, because it's a process I learned a lot from, and I would like to empower other people to by taking them on. But presently, we are still growing, and I personally, as a person, I would like to have interns that are paid, because even if it's transport or like stipends, so that it just makes,
Is this from experience?
yes, based on experience. So I would like to have people that I can at least give a stipend, even if it's just them getting it as, oh, this is your transportation fee for the month, rather than have them. Because sometimes people feel used when they feel like, okay, I put in so much effort, but there's no returns, even though they are learning. Even though they are learning, but now is a willingness, because you have to understand that the other person is actually willing, because this person willingly came to be of service to you. So it is, whether you like it or not, yes, even though it is called an internship, this person is under your service. So, and if you are using them like, oh, okay, they are useful to you as part of your team, as I think it would be fair to just say, okay, this is a stipend I'm setting aside for interning, so that at least at the end of the month they feel like, okay, I'm not just doing this as a wasted effort, because it can be like quite painful when you put in so much work and it just feels like, okay, bye bye, nothing to benefit from it. Yes, even though you're learning something that is priceless, which you which you could yourself put to use and get money, but is during that period that you are working, you're also working actively. It might not be on a scale at which the professionals are working, but at least you are being useful to something. So it's something I'm actually looking up to doing in the nearest future, because I actually want to impact people around me. I know I'm not one of the most patient person to teach, but it's something that I look forward to doing in the nearest future. So definitely yes.
Okay, so this brings me to my last question for the evening. So, what do you have to say to young people out there? Because there are many people who are in fashion school. From fashion school, they start taking on one-on-one jobs, messing up customers' clothes. You know the old trend of, what I ordered was, I'm sure that must have been a result of a lot of errors that tailors are making or fashion designers are making in the industry. And I used to be a designer, and I know that I had a lot of learning process, right? But if you are to share your, well, I say, word of wisdom, word of advice to entrepreneurs out there, or people looking into the fashion industry, what would you say to them as a closing remark? What would you say to them?
Okay, that means even at my own level, I still make mistakes. Yes, I still do. So mistake is part of the learning curve also. So what I ordered versus what I got, it's a mistake that everybody like can learn from, because I want to believe every designer at one point in time, I've spoiled somebody's clothes, I've made mistakes. So these things cannot be avoided on this journey. But what I would advise any upcoming to do, if you have an opportunity to learn with somebody, to intern with somebody that knows more than you do, that has an in-depth knowledge than you do, I would advise for them to take up that position, because it helps you to fine-tune your own creativity and takes away a lot of risk from you while you're still learning, because your boss has the major risk. So even if you make mistake at the job, it's the boss that they will blame, and your boss will probably chastise you for that. So it just helps you to give direction, like I said, and an in-depth knowledge. So if there's an opportunity for you to get a job with somebody that you know that, okay, this is the track record of their work, they are doing quite well, and I would like to do what this person is doing, because it's not everybody that is going to be, they are going to be bridal designers, they're going to be ready to wear designers, they're going to be a bespoke. Yes,
True.
so look for the aspect where you would like to fit in. I think the mistake a lot of people make is they don't know where they want to be, they just want to do everything. So if somebody that wants ready to wear, that you should be doing a ready to wear, and said, okay, don't worry, I'll help you make your wedding dress, it is not your expertise. So because how would I say,
Exactly.
the skills are different. A wedding dress maker, the expertise is different from somebody that just makes ready to wear. A bespoke order, this thing. So there's a level to this expertise. So if you know that, yes, this is where I would like to be, okay, I like wedding dresses, and this person is doing well with wedding dresses. Yes, I know it can be quite difficult if you don't know people getting internship jobs, but it's a risk one has to take. I never knew Tiffany Amber when I reached out to her. I never knew her. I called her up. Oh, ma'am, this is the situation.
You're one of the lucky
Wait,
ones. Okay.
yeah, I would like to come to your place as a youth corper com intern, and Baba said, okay, I'm not in Nigeria now. Please, I'll be out of Nigeria for a while, so I'll be back so period of time. Please come to see me. So I called her at the set time. She said, okay, come to my office. I went to her office. Do you have a fashion list? No, ma. Do you have this thing? She was like, okay. She just said, okay. You know what? You don't have anything that's up to the standard of work that I do, but there's just something about you. So can you start working with me?
Willingness to learn.
That was it. I never knew Tiffany Amber from anywhere. There was no connection. So sometimes I think people are afraid to take this risk. So you could look for their emails, send them. By the time you send out to 20 people, we have quite a number of designers here in Nigeria. So if you start sending emails, oh, okay, I like Imade Eduso's wedding dresses, send an email. If they're not receiving any terms for that time, they'll probably respond to you. But leave your track,
What
your
a
trail,
try.
leave your
What a
trail.
try.
So believe me, when they are looking for interns to take up, they'll probably be like, oh, somebody reached out to
We had a few
look through
people
our
that reached out to
emails and
us.
everything. So people are, yes, it might look like okay, comfortable, but there are some days where you feel like I need these people, and you, the designer, is busy looking for them. So I think it's just a risk people have to take. Reach out to people that you know you would love to learn from. Yes, there might be some rejections here and there, but on the long run, somebody's going to give you a yes. So I think
Thank you
people
so
should go.
much, Jaquel. Thank you so much. I would like to round up by saying the Nigeria Fashion Group, we have taken on the role to ensure that fashion industry enthusiasts, understand what internship is, and we are doing our best to ensure that we can create a system whereby they can get internship opportunities and fashion brands can also get interns from us, right? So we're hoping that we can continually be like the merging point for the two spectrums, right? The two ends of the spectrum. Thank you so much, Adejoke. And I
You're
just want to
welcome,
say
Sammy.
that, I've learned a lot from you, and I just want to commend you for your perseverance, for your willingness to learn, the patience to work 3 years. For me, not many people, many young people just want to go to fashion school and set up. I want to set up my brand, but it's proof, your brand is proof that following a process like you have done will only, make you more rooted, make you more solid, make you have a firmer foundation. And with that said, I'd like to say thank you so much for all those that are interested in interning. Kindly send us an email, follow us on our Instagram page, and stay tuned to all opportunities that we will be sharing on our Instagram page. And when Jokotade brand is ready for interns, we'll definitely look forward to, linking up interns who share the same values with Jokotade. Thank you so
Definitely.
much, Joke. It's been amazing
You're,
having you.
you're
And
welcome.
we look forward to working with you in the nearest future. And we trust that, you would be able to pay it forward just like you benefited from an internship program. Thank you so much, Dr.
You're
And
welcome.
with that, I'd like to say good evening again. And thank you for joining us on today's episode of my fashion internship experience. And thank you, Tiffany Amber, for setting a great record for for the industry, because not many people can take chances on persons they cannot benefit from at the get-go. Thank you for taking a chance on Temitokwe, and thank you for impacting her with so much knowledge and experience, because now she's a professional in the industry. Thank you everyone for watching, and please stay tuned. Follow our YouTube page and subscribe, and also watch the video, share it with other friends, and leave a feedback. Thank you, everyone, and have a good evening. It's me again, Jamlala Temilokon, the founder of the Niger Fashion Week. Thank you, Jope.
You're welcome,
Bye-bye.
Sammy. Bye.
Bye.